Okay, hey everybody. I'm going to do another quick update. I'm going to try to get this in pretty much as quickly but as concisely and comprehensively as possible. There have been a few changes over the last couple of days. I didn't do a new update at the middle of last week because really nothing had much changed, but I feel like there have been a few changes just in the last couple of days, and you may be happy about them or you may be sad about them. We'll see. Of course, the debate is tonight. I'm doing this right before the first debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. So here is how I currently see things shaking up, and I'm going to go ahead and do the standard ones, that we all know. I could start the map, with these already done, but what fun would that be? So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the states that we know there's just no way it's not going to happen that way. And that always means a lot of clicking up here in the Northeast, of course. And let's see, this might be a quicker way to do it. Look at that. We're discovering new ways to do it. Let's see. West Virginia, of course. Indiana, of course. Kentucky. Oh, I forgot the Deep South, of course. South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri. In Alaska. Okay, so I think, and I'm just going to go ahead and say Iowa. I'm not even counting Iowa as in doubt right now. If they give me reason to change that, I will. But for right now, so let's go down this little list and see if we missed anything that's not a swing state. Let's see, Arizona, the ones that are still outstanding: Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Michigan, Minnesota. Northeast, the Nebraska District 3, Nevada, New Mexico. Yeah, let's go ahead and do New Mexico blue. North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Texas, Virginia. Yeah, let's go get Virginia blue. I'm still not used to that, Okay, I think that's everything. So I'm still not used to living in a world where Virginia is just blue. But that's where we are now. There have been some states that have swapped one way, like Missouri's become red, Iowa's become red, and there's some states that have gone blue, like Colorado's become blue and Virginia's become blue. So it's interesting how, the states slide one way and states slide the other, depending on demographics and so forth, and yet it's always ends up being kind of balanced. It's like every state you gain you lose another state if you're whichever party you are. Okay, so I'm going to look at these swing states we have left. These are the ones that we still don't quite know what's going to happen with them. And there are more I have still lit up here gray than I would have expected because there has been some movement the last few days. And there's been movement I didn't expect. So, for example, I am going to go ahead and say Nevada blue. I know I pronounce it wrong, but that's how I pronounce it. Nevada blue, because again, I mentioned this previously, Nevada always ends up looking kind of purple in the polls, and then they end up coming in blue. I don't know why that is. There must be a whole bunch of Democrats in Vegas that are out partying all night and don't answer the phone for polls, but then they actually show up and vote. Who knew? I still feel like Texas has got to show me that they are not red. I just can't imagine that we're in a world where Texas is going to vote Democratic after the 1980s or 70s roughly, but there we are. But okay, so now we got 223 for Biden, 169 for Trump. So remember from the last couple of updates I've done, I've basically told you that Trump's strategy is to win Florida and then a couple elsewhere, right? Like Trump is depending on, he really needs to win North Carolina and Georgia along with Florida. If he gets those three, then he either has the southern route through Arizona and maybe hook up here, or the northern route through Pennsylvania and one of those, right? But any kind of combination of Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and maybe one other gets him the win. So I feel like Minnesota the last couple of weeks has really solidified blue. And I'm feeling Wisconsin getting bluer as well, which surprised me because I really thought Wisconsin was going to end up being the tipping point state. Right now, the tipping point state is Pennsylvania. But here's what's interesting, okay? Here's what sort of changed. Michigan's gotten closer. It was looking very Biden. Michigan's gotten closer in the polls. Pennsylvania, it's feeling more Biden to me than gray, but I'm going to leave it gray for right this minute. But Florida has gotten more Trump. I feel like Florida is getting redder. Now, that's because maybe because the Republicans spent a whole lot of money there the last couple of weeks. Lots of ads going up for Trump, not necessarily from his campaign, but outside parties in the last couple of weeks. But Michael Bloomberg pledged to spend $100 million on pro-Biden and anti-Trump ads just in Florida alone. And I believe he's already started dropping some $40 million worth of ads for Biden in like Spanish-speaking commercials in South Florida, trying to get some of that the Hispanic vote back over to the Democrats that maybe is drifting a little bit toward Trump. So Florida, to me, remains the great mystery. And doesn't it always end up seeming to be that way? By the way, Nebraska's one district here has been sort of trending blue. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it that way. So 244 to 169. Trump really needs to kind of sweep everything else. But here's the weird thing. In the last couple of polls, guess what state is trending blue all of a sudden? Georgia. I kid you not. Not only in the most recent polls is Georgia leaning Biden slightly, John Ossoff is at 50%, and I believe Perdue, the Republican, is below 50. So not only is Georgia trending Biden right now, and that could change in 5 minutes, okay? That could change at any time. But right now, Georgia is actually trending blue, as is their Senate race. On the other hand, Arizona, after looking like it was going to start pulling away and becoming a clearly blue state, the trend of the last several months, Arizona the last couple of days, the same polls that have been showing Georgia turning blue have actually shown Arizona turning red. The Senate race was about to be a blowout for Mark Kelly, and now McSally has pulled even with him, and Trump now is either tied or ahead. In fact, I think the last poll I saw in Arizona had Trump tied. And I, for one, do not give ties away from Donald Trump. If it's close enough in a state that Donald Trump is in a tie with you, you're probably going to lose it just because of various things that go on in those states. So that's where we are right now, 260 to 180. So even without Arizona, and again, that could change in 5 minutes as well, but even without Arizona, Georgia kind of makes up for that. Biden has actually ahead a little bit in North Carolina, even though the Senate race there has tightened. And Michigan's a little closer. I'm still thinking, in fact, I think in the last poll, Ohio is now leaning Biden. So we're getting a different sort of map shaking up. I still feel like Michigan goes blue, but it's closer than it was. It may only be like +2 for Biden. You're already at 309 to 180. Even without Florida and Pennsylvania. So if Trump does manage to get both of those, he's still way far behind because of a combination of Georgia, North Carolina, and the Midwest. That's what the polls are currently showing us right now, is what I just put up here. And I guess Pennsylvania, I'm going to leave it blue, but those are off. A lot of the swing states that were starting to lean toward Biden about 2 weeks ago to a month ago are now tightening up again. And I feel like normally the debates don't make a huge difference, but this could be a year where if either Trump comes out and slam dunks Biden somehow, or if Biden comes out and looks a little shaky, then Trump could maybe make up a couple of percentage points, and that's really all he needs in some of these states. On the other hand, if Biden comes out and looks very sharp and forceful and refutes Trump's attacks, and we know that Trump hadn't done a lot of preparation for these debates. He was not happy about how that was portrayed for him in the 2016 election. Trump has said that in the 2016 prep, he felt like his aides got too much credit for his work. And so this time he's just prepping by himself, and he's going to try to rely on kind of his own personality, his charisma, his ability to kind of attack, and be on the offensive. That could be a very winning strategy for him. Kind of let Reagan be Reagan, let Trump be Trump. Or it could end up making him not able to kind of argue the policies and the actual topics that come up. So The debate tonight and the next couple, I think, could be more significant and consequential than usual, but we will see. So there's where I see it right now. I'm going to go ahead and now put my twist on it, because all the polls have their own algorithms where they go in and correct for what they think is like, errors in the tabulation, errors in the polling. My correction is I don't see Georgia going blue. I don't see North Carolina going blue. And I don't see Ohio going blue. So right now, and I do think Arizona is going to come back blue again. So right now, this is the map I see, with the caveat that Arizona is trending redder. And if that happens, I don't think you can hold on to that congressional district in Nebraska. And now you're back to that map I've been promoting for a while. This is the map I think that we're probably most likely to see. This is a map where all that Donald Trump needs to do is win Pennsylvania or win Michigan. And there's the dreaded scenario, right? If he gets Wisconsin or Minnesota, it's probably not going to be Minnesota, but if he gets Wisconsin, we have a tie. And then Pandora's box opens up. So here's the current map I see happening right there. 279 to 259. I think that's because that's giving the benefit of the doubt that Donald Trump will win some states that are close now. He'll close the gap before Election Day. This is how I see it now. I will talk to you again in about a week, maybe sooner if anything changes, and we will see what the debates do to the race. We'll look at maybe some 538 numbers, some Real Clear Politics numbers, but as it stands right now, I think that pretty much covers it all pretty well. So I will see you guys down the road. Be sure to watch the debates and be sure to vote, and leave me some comments if you have any thoughts about how I put it up there. All right. See you guys.